This is not your typical Rust story. You will not be playing a Genghis Khan. You won't be pillaging lands and destroying villages. You won't be raiding clan bases and taking loot. No, this is a different type of Rust story. This is a story of starting from nothing and trying to create something. Trying to create a friendly environment where players can come and enjoy the game that is Rust, where they can learn the basics, where they can start with a furnace, a bag, a box, and grow, where they can create their own base and hopefully move out one day to take on their own adventures. This is a story of Overdrive Hotel. As with all good Rust stories, you start on a beach with two things, a rock and a torch. But you wake up not naked and afraid, you wake up naked and full of potential, full of excitement and ready to take on this new world. With that, you open your map and you search for the perfect location. When planning the place for a hotel, the most important thing is the vistas. You need views and you need good ones. To get that, you decide that you must be seaside. You must be able to get that ocean view, that ocean breeze, and that tranquility that comes with it. Looking at the map, you're now limited, but there are still a lot of potential options. Again, you rule out anywhere that's a little too cold because you want this to be a hotel that's friendly to nakeds, a nudist hotel, if you will. You want it to be a place where they can come and not freeze to death. As with all good hotels, you don't want your guests to freeze. That just makes sense. Continuing on with your search, you've narrowed it down to a desert. Up in the map, there aren't really any spawns there. You're hoping that there's no clans. It seems fairly vacant, and better yet, there is a nuclear launch site nearby. And there's one thing the guests love more than a view and not freezing to death. That is those nuclear rads, that radiation potential. If you want a good tan, there is one way to get it, and that is with radiation. Don't do that. That's actually, disclaimer here, that doesn't actually work. Back to the story. With that in mind, you set off across the map, dropping bags and taking loot where you can, fighting battles and losing them at every turn. Slowly but surely, you make your way across. You go down the road, you search, you bang on barrels, you look through everything that you can find, and slowly but surely, you gather up some resources. On your way, you run into an enemy or two. Some of them have guns, some of them have bows. Some of them kill you, and some of them get killed. Sometimes it's a little bit embarrassing for them. But finally, you make it to your location. So what you do, you drop down a bag and you start to build. First things first, you build a 2x1, a simple base that every Rust beginner knows. This is your path to success. You will build a 2x1, you will build a hotel around it, and then you will lock yourself in, creating a bunker base that is hopefully impenetrable to all but the fiercest of clans. You go on and you start getting ready. You make your first run of the nuclear launch site, and it goes good. You're looking for a hazmat suit because you've been told that there's a glitch you can use to actually get in without a key card, but you don't find that, unfortunately. Luckily, though, you do find a lot of other things. You recycle those resources, and slowly but surely, you're building up your base. You're getting more and more resources, storing them in your tool cupboard, and as time goes on, you're building rooms. You're building more and more rooms, and now it comes time to put down that vending machine. The vending machine that will sell your notes and guarantee your path to success. And with that, you've crafted your vending machine, you put it down, you pull out your hammer, and then you realize you did it wrong. So you go back to your tool cupboard, you pull out some more materials, you craft another vending machine, and this time, you put it down right. Your hotel is in full swing. Everything is ready to go. There is only one thing left. The only thing remaining is a good launch. And for a hotel to have a good launch, what do you need? You need influencers and you need press. Luckily, you're sort of an influencer yourself. You're Serial Overdrive. Hit subscribe, by the way, if you want to keep that whole thing going and become a bigger influencer. Anyways, you're sort of an influencer yourself. So you make a video. On each note, you've written a few things. You've written a location, a door, and the code. With these notes, users can enter that code into the door and get access to their very own box. This is a box where they can store their loot safely and hopefully come back to it and use it to build a base of their own. You see, the goal here is not just to create a hotel, it is to create a whole ecosystem around it. You want villagers because if there's one thing better than a good vista, it's a good restaurant right next door. And the only way to get that is to get people building. So with that, everything is set for launch. You put the launch video in, you set it for tomorrow, you go to bed. Everything seems to be okay. But with hours left to launch, you log in and realize you have lost control of the base. The tool cupboard, the thing that matters the most in this world, is no longer yours. What are you to do? You take inventory of the situation. You know you have no bag in the bunker anymore, and it has been sealed from the outside. There is reinforced structures all around, and you have no way of breaking in. Or do you? You have a few things left. You have tools, and you have a little bit of time. So with that, you get to work. You bring out a pickaxe, and you bring it to bear on the ceiling. Hit by hit, click by click, you slowly beat your way in. And finally, after hours and hours of torturous work, you break through the ceiling. With minutes left before release, you have two things left to do. You need to break the tool cupboard and seal yourself inside. You've lost control of the door. You no longer have access to the vending machine, but at least now you can destroy the tool cupboard and build yourself anew. You destroy the tool cupboard. You set down a new one. You build a ceiling and you upgrade it. You are now safe. It is time to get to work in destroying the door. For this, you need a few more things. You set up a drop box. You pass wood in through the drop box, and slowly but surely, you build up spears and pick out the remaining door. With that, the door collapses. And now you see that your door is intact and the vending machine is still untouched. This means that most of your loot has actually not been taken, and you will be able to launch the hotel without any delay. With this, you rejoice and you slowly wait. The video goes live, and within minutes, it's sold out. Your hotel has been a smashing success. Every room is booked and people are enjoying it. They're stealing their doors, which is a complication, but they are enjoying it. And they're enjoying those doors that they're taking with them. And the fact that they steal the door actually benefits you because it means you can sell more rooms. You build new doors, you put them on, and you put more rooms up for sale. Each note having a code that will unlock that door and unlock almost limitless potential to the users who wield those codes. And with this, you log off and you think to yourself, there's but one thing left to do, and that is build a second story. So the next day you wake up, you're in your hotel, everything is strangely okay. You go out, you take in the nuclear radiation from the launch site, and you slowly strut across the land. You go to where you know that there will be resources and you start to mine. You take stone and you take wood. You take it back to your base and you build. This time, you want more rooms, and you want a location that users can take in the vista. You want windows, you want air flowing through, and you want a nice lobby where people can relax. You're hoping to build a furnace, a tool cupboard, and more there that people can use to grow themselves. Even if they're not members of the hotel, even if they don't have their own room, they can still grow and thrive and create Overdrive Village. Slowly but surely, things are coming together. You put in the rooms. The doors are still missing, so you go out, you mine more metal. Then you put in the doors, you put in the locks, and slowly but surely, you farm up the resources for things like furnaces and boxes. You put those down, and now you have a whole second story ready to go. 6, 7 rooms, all wielding unlimitless potential. With that, you cross your fingers, and you start loading notes into the vending machine. Almost a week has gone by and the hotel is a smashing success. That vending machine that you were loading notes into is sold out again. Slowly but surely, rooms are falling apart. People are taking their doors, but you are holding your own. You're gathering resources that are needed. You're putting them into the tool cupboard. You're replacing doors as needed and putting new rooms up for sale. Things have been such a success that you've actually managed to upgrade your character. You now have glasses and can see quite a bit further. It is a successful venture. Overdrive Hotel has been a smashing success, but with every success, there must come an ending. There must come a time for you to move on to bigger and greater things, and that time came a little bit sooner than expected. A clan down the way was slightly upset with you. They'd busted into your base once, and you'd gone over and you'd evicted your revenge. You'd taken some materials from their furnace. They didn't know it was you, but they blamed your guests, and slowly but surely, they built up the resources. And then you realize that this clan is not just a clan of 6 or 7 people. No, it's not a clan of 10 or 20. It is an alliance of 50 members. Something that a hotel cannot hold up against. When a whole community, a whole country comes to bear against you, there's only one thing you can do. That is abandon ship. But you decide to eke out the profits while you can. You keep the hotel running, you keep the good times rolling, knowing that your days are limited. With bated breath every time you log in, you hope for the best, but you fear the worst. And finally, it happens. You log in, your room is untouched, but something's amiss. The hotel is no longer under your control. Again, with bated breath, you exit and you look. All the rooms on your floor are okay. You open the vending machine and you see notes for sale, but those are not your notes. Something has gone wrong. You go up to the second floor and you look around again. Everything seems okay here too. The doors are intact. You try the doors, and the ones that did not have their codes changed work. There is resources there. There's sulfur. There's metal. Everyone that owned a room is doing great. But what has gone on? You've lost control of the main base. You've lost control of the bunker, and with that, the hotel is destined for failure. You look at the door that has been added to the hotel and realize that it is not worth your time to bust through. A 50-man clan can be on at all hours of the day, and you do not have the time to defend yourself. It's time to cut your losses. It's time to make a video announcing the closure of Overdrive Hotel. It was a smashing success. It was a beautiful adventure. It was a great story. But like all stories, it must come to an end. So you make your video, you post it, you watch the clan try and defend their actions. You watch them say that it was okay. They did not like getting killed by Nakeds. Or no, they weren't killed by Nakeds. They were just annoyed by Nakeds, I guess. Although you have video of them being killed by Nakeds. But they were just annoyed by Nakeds, of course. So they decided that the hotel could no longer exist and they took it over. They want you to build again on your server, but you decide that it is not worth it. 50 members is something that you cannot put up with. It is something you cannot abide by. It is something that goes against the very rules of Rust. When you team up with that many people, the game is no longer fun. It's no longer you against the world. It's the world against one or two people. And you don't have the time for that. You're a successful hotelier, after all. So you move on to bigger and better things. You get in a boat and you head off to create the next great adventure.